Governor Walker, as president, what would you do if Russian President Vladimir Putin started a campaign to destabilize NATO allies Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, mirroring the actions Putin took at the early days of Ukraine?
Well, first off, per the cyber attack with Russia the other day, it's sad to think right now, but probably the Russian and Chinese government know more about Hillary Clinton's email server than do the members of the United States Congress. And that has put our national security at risk. If I'm president, he won't think about that. You know, Putin believes in the old Lenin adage that you probe with bayonets. When you find mush, you push. When you find steel, you stop. Under Obama and Clinton, we found a lot of mush over the last few years. We need to have a national security that puts steel in front of our enemies. I would send weapons to Ukraine. I would work with NATO to put forces on the eastern border of Poland and the Baltic nations. And I would reinstate and put in place back in the missile defense system that we had in Poland and in the Czech Republic.
Governor,
we would find steel.
But I think, you know, in a way, I think his people are letting him pursue the strategy which seems now to be working, which is say anything you want, man, and then explain yourself later.
Well, also, look, I think, look, I got to say, it's refreshing to talk to Donald Trump. He's unlike any other candidate out there. He doesn't come with handlers who are telling you to wrap it up. I've talked to him for 40 minutes at a time, and the interview could have continued. I just ran out of things to ask him. And it's not as if he... You know, I think people it's refreshing, whether they agree with him or not, right. Whether he doesn't have a lot of policy specifics, but that's not what it's about. And this debate, by the rules of it, there's 10 people on the stage. You each have a minute to give your policies. You don't really have time to get into specifics.
How can you get into policies in a minute?
He's prepared for this as if it's like a rap battle, like it's Drake and Meek Mill. Like, no, you need to come with substance. He keeps calling people losers and saying what he could and should and wants to do for the country, but I'm not getting facts.
Sam,
I need real
Can
things.
he win you? Yeah. Can he win you over?
Absolutely not. Never in a million years.
Why not?
Because I don't want my president to be an entertainer that's cracking jokes and calling Mexicans rapists.
I remember this same rhetoric in 1979. I don't want somebody to be an actor to be in the White House. Who is this goofball? Carter's ahead 60 to 30.
The same criticism. I mean, I'm not comparing Ronald Reagan to Donald Trump, but that's exactly the same criticism that was made of Ronald Reagan. And Ronald Reagan was not very detailed on policy at all. He had an overall vision. And Donald Trump's overall vision, I mean, his tagline, Bill Kristol tonight pointed out, Trump's tagline, which is like making America great again, is literally Ronald Reagan's tagline. I think maybe Reagan's was let's make America great again. It's pretty similar.
Okay, so Anderson, what does your gut say? Because you interviewed him. Did your opinion change after the interview of your preconceived notion of who you already thought he was?
I mean, I try not to go into an interview with any preconceived notion. But you know, I think Donald Trump. You know who Donald Trump is. I mean, Donald Trump. There's not suddenly a new Donald Trump that's going to suddenly emerge. You know, he's a known quantity, and again, he does express opinions, whether you like them or not. You know, the criticism of a candidate like Hillary Clinton is that Breonna Keeler interviewed her on CNN, asked her what woman should be on a bill, and she wouldn't come up. She didn't want to name any woman.
Give an answer.
She wouldn't even say it should be a $10 bill or a $20 bill. I have a feeling Trump would have a very specific answer on that question.
Yeah,
and whatever it is,
that would be his answer.
No, it would make, whatever he said would probably make everybody angry. But I bet, Andy, he'd have some sort of explanation later that we'd all go, all right, okay.
All right. Well, look, he says what he thinks, and the key is he doesn't apologize later. And that's the opposite of what every single politician does. So that's refreshing. And a quick counterpoint. So in this debate, there are going to be 90-second chances to respond. There is no time for policy. There's time for sound bites, and Trump is the master at that. He knows what to say and what not to say.